for the stage win here. He's out of the general classification, I think, yesterday. You know, missing out and losing out, I think his morale is not at his tops.
Richie Porte is off. Many people's favourite to win the stage. He won here just 4 seconds slower than Bradley Wiggins with 9:16 a couple of years ago. And Richie Porte is looking good, he's looking strong. He's already won the Australian Time Trial Championship this year. He's already won this week. And he's got some strong faith and backup in his team as well. Another man who's going on the road bike with the clip-on bars. Richie Porte takes on his effort into that crouched position already. Richie Porte on the road. We've got to go to speak back at the bus to Ben Swift.
We are with Ben Swift, Team Sky. Ben, Richie Porte, no Richie Porte, neither Geraint Thomas, the yellow, but are you confident in the team?
Yeah, definitely. I think on the first mountain stage they showed they were the strongest. Yesterday it was just super bad luck, you know, and they know this climb really, really well, so it'll be exciting to see what they can do.
What's happened yesterday with 2 crashes? It's incredible. 2 crashes for two contenders on the same team. It's incredible.
Yeah, but I think if you look throughout the stage, there was a lot of crashes all day. You know, it's always quite sketchy, especially when you're racing full gas towards the end. It's a little bit of bad luck and stuff like that happens.
2 years ago, Tony Galopin arrived only around two minutes after Richie. So normally this year could be the same, no?
Yeah, well, Tony Galopin showed that he's in great form. He did a brilliant ride yesterday, and that was very classy, you know. I think he's going to put up a good fight today, and it'll be exciting. I'm just going to go and watch it now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you.
You heard that, Sean. 2 minutes last time they raced on this hill together, the difference. But we've said it's different. He's in yellow now. This is a very different feeling for him. Another man with road bike and clip-on bars. Tony Galopin in the yellow jersey, looking to try and win Paris-Nice. He has 36 seconds to play for. It's a hard one here as well. He's going to be in constant contact with the car, depending on his preference, of course. I think if you're his director sportif, though, you'd want to keep him updated on things, because everyone's going to finish before him, unless he has the super ride of his life, of course. Everyone's going to finish before him, as Simon Spilak sets the fastest time, 19 seconds quicker than Tony Martin at the halfway point. And he's going to know the difference. He's going to know how many seconds he's going to have to play with.
Yes, he will be made aware of the times of the danger men up front, and that, you know, goes down to Richie Porte, Kwiatkowski, Geraint Thomas, Vogelsang, and that is the advantage when you're outclassed. But it's good if you're, you know, in a good time. It's getting tight at the end. You still have something left in the tank, and it's amazing you can pull something out when you know you're fighting to win a Paris-Nice. But if you're on real difficulty, well, then the director has to back off a bit and, you know, not push too much. The earlier part, of course, the time trial, we did see Tony Galopin there. He rolled out, took it easy in the first couple of metres, and I think the director sportif will even get settled in.
Arthur Vichot to finish. Solid ride from the former French road champion. 7th place so far, 40.29 down on the top time by Tony Martin. But we remind you, Simon Spilak has set the fastest time at the 5.5 kilometre split. Richie Porte, second, 36 seconds off of the lead of Tony Galopin, as I'm slightly distracted by the man riding on a turbo trainer on the side of a hill there. Australian flag waving. We saw that gentleman on the way up. Didn't see he had his bike and his turbo with him. That's a pretty novel way to watch them. Solidarity ride, isn't it? So Galopin on the left, Porte on the right. These aren't the only actors in this drama today, though, Sean, because these have 36 seconds between them. That is the principal equation. But 1 second further back, Michał Kwiatkowski is wearing a white jersey for the best young rider. Geraint Thomas, another further second back at 38. And, of course, Jakob Fuglsang not too far off as well. Costa, Spilak, Bals, all in with a shout of podium places too. Sylvain Chavanel at the finish today. French time trial champion, Loves Paris-Nice, but as the years go by, seems to be becoming a little less effective in terms of lighting up the stages. 50 seconds back. It's been a solid enough ride from him, though, this week, hasn't it, Sean?
Yes, he's been up there, and he was up yesterday in the big breakaway, but not as strong as a number of years ago when he was winning stages in the yellow jersey, and you know, much more prominent right through the race. This year he's had a relatively quiet race, but yesterday he did manage to get into the break, but wasn't, you know, good enough in the end to finish it off. Tim
Wellens, good week as well for him. Really important in the win for Tony Galopin yesterday. It's a 4th place for him so far. 25-30 back. If everybody comes through it in the end, may well be good enough to sneak into the top 10 on the day. So we've one time check today. One time check, which is at 5.5 kilometres. That's going to tell us a lot about how things are going for everybody. Most of the climbing, most difficult climbing out the way then, as we see the Welsh and British flags on the side of the road. I'm sure they were screaming when Geraint Thomas went past. Luke Rowe riding as well today. This is Tony Galopin settling down. A lot of things to think about. Said that he's finally become the rider that he always wanted to be. Of course, he could be a very, very special rider in French cycling history by the end of the day. Last French winner of Paris-Nice was Laurent Jalabert in 1997, and did a run of 3 successive wins for him. We'll look at Richie Porte again, but staying on the French theme, Sean, if Tony Galopin does manage to win today, is this a confirmation of what we saw last year, the renaissance of French cycling with Romain Bardet all the way up there with Jean-Christophe Perrault last year, although Jean-Christophe Perrault very much on his way out as a rider in the next few years, I'm sure, as a veteran. French cycling, we've got the 2 young sprinters doing well, Demar and Bouhanni. It's in rude health at the minute, isn't it?
Well, very much so. You know, you look back just last year to the Tour, what a performance the French riders put up. Galopin, you know, he, last year he had a great Tour of France, winning a stage and having the yellow jersey. Galopin is a rider, you know, who has started to mature maybe a bit later. His first number of years he was a good rider, but it's really in the last 2 to 3 years he is stepping up each year, and last year was a big step up. It looks like this year he's up a bit again, because at this early point he's, you know, in the battle for Paris-Nice.
Gorka Izagirre, just a handful of seconds slower than his brother. 5th place, a really good Paris-Nice for Gorka Izagirre. In terms of climbing, I'm sure he wouldn't mind us admitting that he's ever so slightly least talented of the 2. But he's put in a strong fighting performance. In fact, 5 seconds difference. The bragging rights on the day go to Yon. Over the week, though, it's Gorka, the strongest of the Izagirres at Paris-Nice. Tony Galopin still settled in. How's he looking, Sean?
Looking good at the moment. We can see him there, and we did see a moment ago when we did a split screen with Richie Porte. Tony Galopin, you know, just sitting a bit more comfortable, no movement on the bike, where Richie Porte seems to be moving a bit more, but that's Richie Porte's style. He does move a bit more than, you know, the real super time trials, where they just sit there and the legs seem to turn about. But it doesn't say that you're, you know, doing anything better, as we can see here, you know, settling into it. Both are looking quite good at this moment.
Rui Costa at the 5.5 kilometre split second, the second best time, 12 seconds slower than Simon Spilak as it stands. Faster, though, than Tony Martin. Jakob Fuglsang just going through that little check as well. So 12.25 for Geraint Thomas as opposed to 12.01 there for Simon Spilak. So Geraint Thomas slower than Tony Martin as it stands.
Yes, that's the reference. You know, we talked about Tony Martin. How would he be able to win this time trial? And this is where we're going to see it now. When you get the reference to that point, that's when we can see how fast the others have been going, including Tony Martin.
Rafa Valls finishing in 8th place at the minute, 30 seconds down. So the times set by the Izagirres, Talanskis and Martins of this world looking pretty competitive today. It is Simon Spilak, the virtual leader of the stage on the road, though, although he's yet to finish. Faster than anybody else at the 5.5 kilometre time check. Next to go over that check will be this man, Michał Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski on the road, seconds in it. Tony Galopin leads Paris-Nice. Between Kwiatkowski and Galopin are 38 seconds. And of course, between him and those 38 seconds are Richie Porte. Just another second's different. It's tense, it's tight. What were ASO thinking when they got rid of the Col d'Huez, Sean? You happy it's back?
Yes, I think it's a really exciting finish. A lot of riders will be happy. A lot of riders not so happy, who are, you know, not maybe the greatest of time trials. But I think it's always a good finish.
So Simon Spilak heading in towards the finish. Is this the winning time on the day? Spilak faster than Tony Martin. 20:36.68, 15.87 seconds faster, an average of 27.7. So the Slovenian with the best ride so far. And for everybody else in the top 10 or so, that's the immediate reference to take. Kwiatkowski, 18 seconds slower than Spilak. Third best time as it stands. And Simon Spilak looking to put himself perhaps on the Paris-Nice podium. So Kwiatkowski going to have to work hard here. Richie Porte. It's where it gets really complicated as well, Sean, because you've got to start looking at all the different time gaps from Tony Galopin to those who come across the line. 6 kilometres to go for Tony Galopin. 500 metres until we get the time check then. Simon Spilak started 53 seconds down on Tony Galopin today. The first of the main men to come across the line. So here goes Richie Porte. Let's have a look. 5.5 k's to go. Richie Porte, we're going to get that time to come through to us. Well, 5.5 kilometres gone, pardon me, I should say. Just over 4 k's to go. Richie Porte with the fastest time. Richie Porte with the fastest time. 12 seconds faster than Simon Spilak. And wow, we've got to really check the time now to Tony Galopin. I mean, I think with that, he might be a little worried.
Yes, I think Richie Porte's time is a really strong one. When you consider Kwiatkowski, he's at 30 seconds. Rui Costa at 23. It looks like that the man we're expected to do, you know, the ride, Richie Porte, in this one, he's certainly been a performance, but you will have to wait for Tony Galopin to come through this checkpoint.
Rui Costa not going to win the stage on the day, but it's going to be a really, really good ride from him. Of Tony Martin's time, top time trial from Rui Costa. 10.85 down on Simon Spilak at the finish line. And now, when you got to the 5.5 kilometre time check, there was 11 seconds between them. 11 seconds too at the arrival. Spilak, Costa, Martin, Talansky and Izagirre, the top 5. Tony Galopin has to ride for his life here because Richie Porte is flying up the road. Remember, 2 minutes between Richie Porte's start and Tony Galopin's start. So if you haven't seen him come through yet, don't worry too much, but it's about now we should be looking for him. Richie Porte, 12 seconds faster than Simon Spilak, the man who leads on the finish line at the minute. Tony Galopin has to bring his A game here. 36 seconds to play with. What's going to be the difference at the halfway stage? And of course, Sean, we're going to see this, and Director Sportifs himself are going to have to react if it's not looking good.
Well, yes, you have to react if it's not looking good. Depending on what the what way it's looking. If there's a big, you know, difference between Tony Galopin and Richie Porte, well then, at this point, if Galopin has to make it up, which looks like that Galopin is maybe a bit slower than Richie Porte. Hard, you know, to do anything about it because you're pretty much giving it 100% all the way here. If it's only a matter of, you know, 3-5 seconds, okay, but if it's any more than that, well then it's difficult to make up that ground on a guy who was really put in a fabulous time, and that is Richie Porte for the moment.
Tony Galopin, we need him up at this time check. I have a feeling he's nowhere near as quick as Richie Porte here. Let's have a look though. Appearances sometimes can be deceptive, and I think Galopin is quite a way off. Let's check. Here he comes through the time check. Galopin with 4 kilometres to go. Waiting for his time to flash up on our screen in front of us. It's a nervous wait too for those following him in the car. Oof, dearie me. Dearie me, 25th at 58 seconds. Tony Galopin, I'm afraid, is not going to win Paris-Nice, Sean.
No, it's not going to happen here. You know, that disadvantage, or you know, that loss, the advantage he had in the overall classification, the losses to Christy Porte is very, very big.
Jakob Fuglsang 49 seconds down on the finish line, and I think, looking at Richie Porte, I think we're looking at the clear winner, aren't we?
Well, it looks like that, yes, Porte, unless, you know, he really starts to struggle in the end. Galopin, when you look at, you know, what he's lost, he's really struggling, and his Porte is putting in the ride to win this race.
So Richie Porte needs to keep it strong. Galopin on the left, riding in the yellow jersey. It's a superb day from him yesterday. Wonderful day for French cycling as well. Richie Porte, after the disaster of the fall on the way down, is looking to have recovered fantastically well overnight. Has his confidence as well. Certainly doing the job he was required to do today. And Sky, after looking stronger all week than the rest, a little scare yesterday. Look, though, they're finally going to get their reward. So, Geraint Thomas coming in towards the finish. Just looking at the clock ticking by at the final. It's a huge headwind now coming into the final 50 metres or so. The wind really has got up in the last 20 minutes, half an hour or so, even if it was strong before. We're seeing gusts that are almost blowing down the 25 metres to go banners at the finale. This is Geraint Thomas then. It's been a good strong Paris for him. He will once again be disappointed by what happened on the Saturday just as 12 months ago. He finishes 25.82 seconds down. And only Kwiatkowski, Porte and Galopin are left to arrive. Virtual general classification. Richie Porte would be winning Paris-Nice by 22 seconds ahead of Tony Galopin. We said that Spilak and Kostra put good rides in. Spilak at the minute riding himself onto the podium. Kwiatkowski has to improve if he has to get there. Richie Porte's race to lose as Tony Galopin desperately battles with himself, the gradient and the pressure on his shoulders. Of course, you talked about recovering from yesterday as well, Sean. This man, the man we saw a minute ago in yellow, would have put in more effort than anybody.
Well, he did put in a big effort because he went around 30 kilometres from the finish on the climb, and he was out there for a long time on his own. So he put in a huge effort to get the stage victory, to get the advantage to move into yellow jersey and overall leader of this Paris-Nice. But also we must remember the other guys. Richie Porte, you know, had the fall, and you know, he had to ride back after that. So you know, everybody had a big effort yesterday. Maybe Galopin had a little bit more than the rest, and it looks like that he's paying for that effort because, you know, 58 seconds at that intermediate checkpoint, it's a lot. I thought, you know, it would be a bit closer, maybe Richie Porte a little bit stronger, but it's proven that Richie Porte is, you know, much stronger than Galopin on the time trial today.
We saw it on the mountain the other day, the Croix de Chamonix, and this is Michał Kwiatkowski, a man who's been fantastic all week in this race, all the way through the prologue. He's worn more yellow jerseys than anybody else in Paris-Nice this week. He's time trialled well again today. He's going to be ever so slightly slower than Tony Martin, the world time trial champion. Fourth place, 16.7 seconds slower than Simon Spilak at the moment. And Michał Kwiatkowski, the world road champion, now needs to wait to see exactly what happens as far as his podium place is concerned. Richie Porte, and he hasn't won a big stage race since he won Paris-Nice in 2013. He had a 2014 to forget in so many different ways. This is going to be confirmation, Sean, of exactly what we thought could happen at the start of the year when he won the Aussie Time Trial Championship. He won so well in Willunga Hill. He was good in the Algarve as well. This is going to be the culmination of his return, isn't it, to the top?
Yes, well, this is going to be very important for Richie Porte. Last year, he had, a lot of problems, sickness. To win this one, it will confirm that he's back to his best.
On the way to his 4th win of the season. He won on Willunga Hill. He won also in Malhão in the Volta ao Algarve on stage 4. He won at Guadassubo just a few days ago, and he's going to win here. If you want to add the Aussie Time Trial Championship into that mix, that would be win number 5. And here he is, Richie Porte, well ahead of Simon Spilak. It is a brilliant, brilliant ride from him. Negotiates that final turn, that final corner. Thankfully, nobody's had any problems there today. Richie Porte rides across the line. He will most probably win the stage. He will win Paris-Nice. 13:35 ahead of Simon Spilak. And the Australian Time Trial champion waits, but is sure to pick up, I think, his 2nd win of the week. In the meantime, Tony Galopin is struggling. Big, big day for him out there in yellow. A lot of pressure on him. A lot of people question whether he could do it or not. A few people said, yeah, no problem, he'll be fine. Others who perhaps knew how well Richie Porte was going, and how few references this guy has to measure himself in this situation. The first time he's really been in this situation, Tony Galopin, in his career. He knows the hill, but so does Richie Porte. He lives down the road as well. He's a Monégasque. We had some local Monégasque residents asking us about Richie Porte yesterday, saying, oh, he's one of us. Is he all right? How is he after the fall? He's fine. Look, top of the tree, 13 seconds ahead of Simon Spilak. 24 ahead of Rui Costa. Tony Martin in 4th place, with Kwiatkowski in 5th. Tony Galopin riding in, and I think we've got to take our hat off to him anyway, even though it's going to be Richie Porte who wins Paris-Nice.
Yes, winning the time trial up Col d'Aise, and as we mentioned later, the guy who wins the time trial goes on to win Paris-Nice. That lives on here in this Paris-Nice. Going to Galopin on our screens at the moment, he was a little bit in the unknown, I suppose, because he hasn't really had the opportunity to be in the position he was starting out this morning in yellow, going on to the Paris-Nice. We have seen Richie Porte. He's been there before, done that. Galopin, we see now the picture. He struggled on the uphill time trial, and we can see the guy. He's a big, big guy compared to Richie Porte. So, to drag that up this climb of Col d'Aise, it's always going to be a big ask. And Richie Porte, putting in a fabulous time, winning the time trial up Col d'Aise and going to win this Paris-Nice for a 2nd time.
Well, you said that he's been there and done that, and he's going to get another T-shirt as well now as Richie Porte. He's going to exchange his green and gold for the yellow, as Tony Galopin in the yellow for the last kilometre of this race. And Paris-Nice will be done for another year. 73rd edition of the race. It's been a wonderful race from north to south. It's been a race from the sun rather than a race to the sun. We finished in miserable, horrible, windy, difficult conditions up here on Col d'Aise today. And as Sean Kelly rightly said, for the 24th occasion out of 31 passages now on Col d'Aise, the winner of the time trial will take the Paris-Nice overall. It's a wonderful, wonderful statistic that carries on as Tony Galopin struggles with the wind, struggles to try and stay on it and controlled inside the final kilometre. Big, big week nonetheless for him. Today's headline, Grande Victoire. Huge win in L'Equipe after a very, very difficult day. Well, Michael Matthews' green jersey is also safe, and what a day for the Australians, eh? He said that Michał Kwiatkowski could take it off him. Michael Matthews will walk away with green. Tom de Gendt with the polka dot jersey. This yellow jersey, though, is headed into the hands and finally onto the shoulders of Richie Porte. Tony Galopin has put up his very best today. He's going to get a brilliant applause at the finish. However, not good enough on the day to win the race. 29th place, a good 1 minute 39.19 down from Richie Porte. Remember, last time we said he'd be a couple of minutes back. This time he's improved upon that on a very, very difficult day, but it's not good enough to beat Richie Porte, who goes on to take Paris-Nice.